Modi 3.0 has finished 100 days of being at helm of the power of India. This is Narendra Modi's third term, and a lot of announcements have been made in the last 100 days to understand and to make sense of the larger policy implications, consequences of these announcements. We have with us Railways, IT, and also INB Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw. Thank you, Mr. Vaishnaw. As always, it's always a pleasure to have you on NDTV. One of the most important mantras that the Prime Minister has been talking about is perform, reform, transform, and inform. You're the person in charge of information flow. But it's interesting that a large part of the expenditure of the announcements made is on infrastructure. You also hold the railways portfolios. What, according to you, are the key policy announcements that you think have the potential to change the future of India made in the last 100 days?
If you look at the first and second terms of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, he took many historic initiatives which have basically set the foundation of our country to become a developed country by 2047. And during the election process, Prime Minister Modi ji called all the bureaucrats and told them that the country's progress should not stop. We will be busy in the elections, but you keep planning for further work, for projects, for infrastructure, for schemes, welfare schemes, everything. So as a result, because of this vision of Prime Minister, we, in the first 100 days itself, we have been able to announce many new programs, start many new works, and implement many projects. If you take the case of railways itself, within 100 days, 12 new projects, about 50,000 crore rupees investment, 11 new lines which will practically go through the tribal areas, and one multi-tracking project. Total 1,300 kilometers have been sanctioned. 16 new Vande Bharat trains have actually been launched, and the first 20 coach Vande Bharat has been launched. In the general coach category, which affects the travel of lower income and lower middle class income, 108 trains have been augmented with new general coaches. 12,500 new general coaches manufacturing is going on. Namo Bharat Rapid Rail was inaugurated yesterday. This is going to be a revolutionary train because at a very low cost, a very high quality service will be provided to commuters traveling from one city to another. Vande Bharat Sleeper is completed. It's now going for testing and trials. World's highest rail arch bridge, Chenab Bridge, has been commissioned. 900 kilometers of new tracks have been commissioned. 100 digital stations, 309 locomotives, 1,600 coaches manufactured, 10,000 wagons manufactured, and first direct drive control has been functioned. If you recall, Balasore accident, there was manipulation in the panel which controls the point machines. So we decided to change the entire technology, and the first direct drive technology has now been introduced. Ticketing has been, digital payment at ticketing counters has been enabled. 164 base kitchens have started. 10 multimodal cargo terminals have been operationalized, and 58,642 vacancies have been notified for recruitment in railways. It's a big work.
Oh my God, that's a lot of work, Mr. Vaishnaw. But there's an interesting statistic: 16 Vande Bharat trains in 100 days. In fact, the Prime Minister said that there is one Vande Bharat train being released every 15 days. In fact, the average works out to one Vande Bharat a week. So yes, clearly, there is Namo Rail. Shorter distances. There's Vande Bharat. The sleeper coach are going to come about. But we also see a lot of people. The demand for railways is growing. Airfares have really gone up. Festive season is coming up. How are you trying to tackle this increasing demand for railways?
So there are 4 aspects to your question. I'll address all of them one by one. For the festive season, we have deployed record number of special trains. In the recently concluded summer season, we had deployed more than 20,000 special trains. In the previous Diwali and Chhath, again there was a record number of special trains. Just recently concluded Ganesh Chaturthi, we had 342 number of specials. So that same spirit we will continue. As you said, rightly pointed out, the demand for railway travel is increasing every day, and we are augmenting our infrastructure in a very big way. Number of trains manufacturing has significantly increased. If you compare with the UPA period and you compare today, we are now manufacturing close to 6,000 coaches a year. and the number of coaches manufactured during UPA period was hardly about 2,000 or 3,000 a year. So that's a significant jump. Number of locomotives 1,200, that compares to number of electric locomotives during UPA period was about 200, 300. So massive change has happened. New tracks are being laid. For the people traveling with very less income categories, very low income categories, we have introduced Amrit Bharat trains, which are having same features as a Vande Bharat train, but the entire train is basically 11 coaches of sleeper and 11 coaches of general class, and two trains were launched in the month of January earlier this year, and now from October onwards every week one train will be launched. So we are focusing on the lower income and the middle income. That's where the railway's primary role is, and there is a lot of emphasis on making sure that the capacity increases. That's why last year 5,300 kilometers of new railway tracks were constructed. That is more than the entire network of Switzerland.
Okay.
In the last 10 years, 31,000 kilometers of railway tracks have been constructed, more than the network of Italy. So that is the kind of focus which Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has put in augmenting the railway network, the railway facilities, because throughout the 58 years of Congress rule, railway was totally neglected. It was ignored as a means. It was considered as a political tool. It was not considered as a tool, as a department which can bring about a big change in people's lives.
Right.
That's the change which has happened during Prime Minister's tenure.
Mr. Vaishnaw, is that also your answer to the fact that there's this criticism that there's so much focus on Vande Bharat that the other trains get ignored? Is that
other trains are absolutely getting much higher focus compared to Vande Bharat. It's just that Vande Bharat is catching the imagination of the people. That's why there is so much excitement. But we as railway organization are very much focused on making sure that the lowest income categories of our society, they get very affordable rail travel. As I said, 16 Vande Bharats, but 108 trains in which general coaches have been augmented.
Right.
See the ratio.
Right. Mr. Vaishnaw, also, on one hand, we're witnessing this record expansion of tracks, but, we're also looking at facelift of stations, which I think is really important for the country. But on the other hand, we also know that railway accidents keep happening. I know that you've often pointed out, and rightly so, that it used to be around 171 10 years ago, and now the number has come down to 40, which is a significant reduction, but still lives are getting lost. Is there a way by which, I'm sure you've had your learnings from the accidents that have taken place. When will the anti-collision system be put in place in the entire network, and also what are your learnings from the accidents that have happened?
We have made sure that each and every incident which happens in railways, whether it is an accident or other incident, we go to the root cause of it. Wherever systemic changes have to be made, we make the systemic changes. Wherever procedural improvements have to be done, we do that. Wherever technology has to be changed, we are changing the technology also. I'll give many examples, how much focus we have put. We have done 97,000 inspections, 90,000 signal plans have been verified, 2,500 kilometers of tracks have been renewed. Ultrasound test is being done for the entire railway network, and this fiscal we have already done 186,000 kilometers of tracks have been checked with ultrasound machines. New technology, phased array ultrasound machines, 20 have been procured and deployed. 990 railway bridges have been rehabilitated. So every step we are improving we are putting huge focus on safety, and the success in getting Kavach rolled out, what the Congress governments could not do in 58 years. Within the short time frame of 10 years, we got a new technology developed, tested, and deployment started. The first tender which was done in 2022, out of that 632 kilometers already commissioned. The version 4 got approved on 16 July this year. By now we have taken out tenders for 10,000 locomotives and 9,600 kilometers of track. And I'm very happy to share, yesterday the first section with Kavach 4.0, which is the very advanced version of Kavach. That section got commissioned between Kota and Samai Madhopur on 16th September, which is yesterday, 108 kilometers.
Okay.
The first trains I'll share the videos which the team has made.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. The trains which are carrying passengers and goods, they are absolutely, the driver is able to see the signal 3-4 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers ahead of the actual signal location. It's a very good technology, and I'm very happy that all this hard work which has gone in is giving results.
And how long will it be for the entire track to be covered, the entire railway network of India?
The countries which had half or less than half this network took about 15-20 years. But our Prime Minister has given us a very aggressive target, and we would like to complete the entire country's network. We would like to complete within 5 to 6 years from now.
Okay. Sir, also coming to the IT part of your portfolios, data privacy law is something that is, really, we're looking forward to it because it will change the way we consume information and also store our data. The rules, have to be brought in, and the data protection law came about after a lot of struggle. We saw what happened with the JPCs. When do you think the rules will come about, and what is the method that you're thinking with respect to consultation? Is the industry on board? Are the stakeholders on board?
So as you know that in the entire drafting of data protection law, we had extensively consulted with every possible stakeholder. More than 16,000 consultations were done, and before that the JPC itself had also consulted many stakeholders, practically every stakeholder. The law is ready, and despite elections we have worked very hard to make sure that the DPDP rules are done. The DPDP rules have already been prepared. Very soon they are going through the approval process of the government, and very soon we'll start the consultation process on the rules. The rules will be as simple as the DPDP Act as well as the Telecom Act that you saw. There will be a simplicity in drafting. Our Prime Minister has given us a framework called Saral Framework, and he always says that the Act or the rules, they should be easily understood by the people. And this is going to be digital by design implementation. So the digital implementation portal, the technology behind that, everything is already in place now, already developed. So very soon we will launch it.
Right. So when it comes to semiconductor push, I know it started with the Prime Minister's state visit, and it has taken a different form altogether. 5 semiconductor plants have been approved, but experts say that this is a gestational industry. It's very intensive because it requires the best of things, including the purest of water and non-stop electricity. And they say that this is going to be a long haul. It's going to be, betting big. Are we ready for that?
Absolutely, we are ready for that, and we have taken practically every step needed to make sure that the entire ecosystem gets into place. Entire ecosystem, as you rightly pointed out, ultra pure water, ultra stable electricity, ultra clean chemicals, ultra pure materials, that entire ecosystem is in place, and that's why the entire industry recently, we had the Semicon conference, and CEOs of practically every large or small or medium semiconductor industry were present here. They were so excited about India's journey because they said India is following a policy which is absolutely the right policy for making sure that this industry grows for many more years. If you recall, this industry, our country wanted to set up this industry way back in 1962. Since then, multiple efforts were made, but it was only because of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's clarity of thought that we could actually come up with a policy which has helped us succeed, and now we have 5 units. Construction work is going on at fast pace. There are new products which are being developed under the design-linked component of the semiconductor policy, and very happy to say that there are 3 projects in which already VC funds are showing interest.
Right.
They are developing new 4G chips, they are developing new IoT chips, new applications for AI, new applications for optical sensing. Multiple new ideas are coming. Our talent is vast,
right.
And this very fertile talent, very big talent pool has now been given a good direction because of this semiconductor policy.
Right. Sir, how do you react to the opposition's claim that this is a U-turn Sarkar and it is something that is submitting to the pressures of opposition and also its own allies? Has the nature of working changed for you as a minister?
See, our last 10 years of Prime Minister Modi's government, if you look at it, very thoughtful, very consultative, very inclusive growth is what he has always believed in. That's why his focus has been on making sure that every section of the society is able to improve the opportunities they get in their lives, is empowered, and that has been his focus. The same focus continues. The opposition can say whatever they want to say. The fact is that this is a live Sarkar, this is a government which listens to the people, and wherever needed, wherever pivoting is needed, wherever you need to make any modifications in the policy, a government which is listening to the people will make those changes.
Right.
There's nothing wrong in it.
Absolutely. Mr. Vaishnaw, I wanted to ask you this. As a former bureaucrat, how do you see Rahul Gandhi's consistent criticism that bureaucracy is not representative of India? It does not include, the deprived sections. It is full of upper castes. There's a halwa picture that he tweeted during the budget session. As a former bureaucrat, do you think that there is a need for bureaucracy to become more representative?
Every recruitment that happens in the government, whether it in the civil services, engineering services, technicians, constables, every recruitment which happens in the government follows a principle of reservation which is created by, which is inspired by, which is formalized by, institutionalized by Baba Saheb Ambedkar's constitution. Mr. Rahul Gandhi must understand, must study how the recruitments are happening. If he believes in taking a responsibility, in the UPA government, he had his party, his family was ruling for so many long years. He should have taken a responsibility so that he knows that yes, this is the way the government is run. How can he claim when every recruitment is having the reservation policy? How can he claim that the reservation, some sections of the society are not represented? He is taking the example of secretaries. He did not take the example in the secretaries, he did not include the members of the railway board. Member of a railway board is essentially, he or she is an ex officio secretary to the government of India. Till 2 years back, there were 2 members of the railway board who were from the SC community.
Okay.
One of them got, one of the meritorious candidates became the first SC chairman in the history of railways.
Yeah.
In the 58 years of their government, did they ever make one single SC member? Did they make any SC chairman of the railway board? Did they make a woman chairman of the board, chairperson of the board? No. They are. It's a question of not being committed to underprivileged sections. We, NDA government is committed to the underprivileged sections.
Okay.
Modi ji himself has come from a very poor family in a small village.
Right.
He understands what pain we have to go through. It's a very different mindset, which I don't think people who were born with those riches, they can never understand.
Absolutely. My last question to you, sir. You're part of the crack team that was sent to Madhya Pradesh, which was in some ways seen as the most difficult election for BJP, but in some ways it gave very miraculous results for the party. And now you have been deputed to Maharashtra. How difficult is the battle there? Because many people have already given up. There are 6 parties in the fray. How confident and optimistic are you of the BJP's chances?
Maharashtra will clearly demonstrate that Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's inclusive growth policies, a policy where there are no shortcuts, a policy where foundation for a developed nation are being laid, a policy where a way of working where hard work, where absolutely clearly focused, nation first, always first. That thought process is what ultimately wins, and our workers, our karyakartas are very enthused, our leadership is strong. We definitely will see success.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Vaishnaw. That was Railways, IT and INB Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw elaborating on the policy outcomes and larger consequences of the policy moves and announcements made by Modi 3.0 in the first 100 days of its governance.